What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Charles Enoch. You already know we back with another Invest in Myself episode. So run the intro. So today I want to talk about what I personally feel is the best way to set up your children for success and future wealth. But before we get into it, you already know your boy has to do the YouTube thing. Your boy's close to getting monetized, so I'm gonna ask you guys, help a brother out. So if you haven't done so yet, go ahead, take a little time, smash that like button for me. If you're new to the channel or you just haven't done so yet, take a little bit more time, hit that subscribe button for me and leave a comment down below. Also, if you like my content, please think about donating to my Patreon page. The link will be down in the description below. I appreciate anybody that takes the time out to do all these things because it does help me reach a higher audience base. So I currently don't have any kids, but when I do, this is how I'm personally going to set them up for success. So note, as a real estate investor, just know my opinion is going to be heavily favored in real estate investing. And this method might not be the best for everybody, but it's always good to learn something new, right? Educate yourself. So the average appreciation for real estate in the US is about 4% every year, meaning the value of your house is going to increase by 4% year after year after year. So for example, if the value of my house is 200,000, then it would grow by 8,000 in value per that year. In my opinion, over the years, the average appreciation is going to be way more than 4%, but we're going to stick with the current facts. Now, let's say I'm able to buy a $200,000 rental with a 15-year mortgage before my child turns 3 years old, then the mortgage would be paid off when my child turns 18. So that gives me 3 years to find a property that mathematically works, meaning the tenant's rent is paying all the expenses associated with that property. This means mortgage, insurance, property tax, maintenance and repairs. Now, this doesn't have to be the most amazing cash flowing deal that you've ever done, as long as you're pretty much breaking even at the end of the year. All right, so let's break this down. So at 200,000, if my property appreciates by 4% for 15 years, then I'm looking at a house value of 360,000. As this house will be paid in full, that means that you have $360,000 in equity on that property. So since you had tenants, the only thing you've pretty much paid for was the initial down payment of the property. So if your child wants to go to college, selling this $360,000 house after taxes should be able to pay for this child's tuition. Now let's hope in 15 years, college doesn't cost $1 million to get a bachelor's degree. I mean, the way it's going, I don't know. All right, now let's say your child just isn't academically gifted or just plain doesn't want to go to college because it's expensive. They just want to get a trade real quick and jump into the workforce. They would then be able to just live in that property without a mortgage. This would allow your child to stack up a lot of money. Let's say they just go into the workforce. Imagine if you just didn't have a mortgage, how much money you're able to invest. Or if your child has a vision of growing a business, they could just get a part-time job to pay the little bills like the light bill, the water bill, gas bill, whatever the case is, and then focus on their business without stressing over their living situation. I mean, at the very least, if you're teaching your kids right, if they invest a bulk of their money, let's say just a mortgage of like $2,000 at 18, in let's say like an investment fund or stocks in the compound interest, they will be a millionaire pretty quickly. Now let's break this down even further because there's more options. Now rent is usually raised between 2 to 5% yearly, depending on the area you live in. Now we know some areas that increases even more than that, but we're just going to stick with the average. So if the rent started out at $2,000 per month when you purchase the rental property, and it appreciated by, let's say, 4% every year for 15 years until you pay it off, the rent would be $3,600 after the mortgage is paid off. Now, let's say your child receives scholarships and just doesn't have to pay for school. He or she can use that rental property money, the $3,600, as passive income while they're in school. This will make the student's life a lot easier. I remember as a college student working full time and studying nights. The stuff was stressful. Now, I would make my child learn how to manage the property or how to manage the property manager that's managing the property. But nevertheless, that option is going to be a lot less stressful than working a full-time job. Now, hopefully you teach your child well and they're investing that passive income that they're getting from the property. And if they're learning how to manage the property right, or the property manager, that passive income will stick with them pretty much forever. I mean, everybody has to have a place to live. And it's only going to prove its point as there's going to be more people populated on the earth in the next 15 years. Now, the last option, the option I hope my child takes, is to become a real estate investor like me. I would teach them how to pull equity out of that fully paid house and reinvest that money to get another rental property. This is called a BRRRR method, which I won't go into, but I will attach a video link where I describe what the BRRRR method is. All right, so last thing I want to throw out there, just some food for thought. People that have businesses, do not rely on your child to take over the business. Children are going to have their own passions. And God forbid if your children just can't take over the family business. And God forbid if your child or children cannot take over the family business, then you cannot pass that wealth on to them. I mean, I guess you can sell the business and then they can get a lump sum of money. And then hopefully they invest that money right. But nevertheless, I want my children to have a source of passive income where they have to do little to nothing. And I believe real estate does that, whether they're going to rent it out or they just live in the property. Either way, it's going to appreciate if they just live in the property. And if they're renting it out, they're getting that full cash flow. Only thing they need to know is how to hire a good property management and manage them. So what do you guys think about my wealth building method for my future children? Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Am I missing something? Also, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button for me. And like always, man, you guys have a good weekend. Peace out.